Good day, everyone. So today we will report about entrepreneurship, social responsibility, and business ethics. By the end of this topic or chapter, you must be able to explain to the entrepreneur social responsibility to his customers, suppliers, stockholders, fellow businessmen, government, to the community, and to his employees. Explain the rights of customers, creations of jobs, and business ethics. Introduction. Ngayon, gusto ko pong ibahagi sa inyo ang tungkol sa corporate social responsibility o mas kilala sa tawag na CSR at kung paano ito nagsimula at nag-evolve sa Pilipinas. Alam niyo po ba na kahit ngayon lang naging popular ang CSR sa bansa, lalo na nitong huling 10 taon, matagal na pala itong ginagawa ng mga negosyante sa Pilipinas. Simula po noong early 19s, may mga kumpanya na kumikita habang sabay na tumutulong sa kanilang mga empleyado at komunidad. Early companies prioritized employee welfare, later expanding aid to neighbor community. In the 1950s, business actively engaged in community welfare without formal strategies. So pagkatong 1950s, mas naging visible ang mga CSR efforts ng mga kumpanya. Nakikipag-engage na sila sa community welfare pero wala pa silang formal CSR plans. Hindi pa structured pero kusa nilang ginagawa ang pagtulong parang natural lang sa kanila. Community support was driven by Filipino values like bayanihan. Assistance was mostly philanthropic, regularly donation and help during times of need. Noong panahon na iyon, ang CSR ay mostly philanthropic. Ibig sabihin charity-based, gaya ng pagbibigay ng donasyon, reliefs, goods o assistance tuwing may sakuna o pangangailangan ang komunidad. CSR activities continue until 1990s, evolving due to major events like 1970s martial law and oil crisis. These events increased poverty and shifted the direction of community relations efforts. At ngayon, sa panahon natin, CSR is no longer optional. Hindi na ito parang side activity lang. Kailangan na talagang i-integrate na sa mismong business strategy ng isang kumpanya. Kung gusto ng isang negosyo na magtagumpay, lalo na sa harap ng mga modern challenges tulad ng climate change, social equality at customer expectations, dapat responsable sila hindi lang sa kita kundi pati din sa komunidad at kapaligiran. Sa kabuuan, makikita natin ang CSR sa Pilipinas ay may malalim na ugat mula sa simpleng pagtulong noon hanggang sa pagiging core part ng business ngayon. Isang patunay na kahit negosyante ka, may responsibilidad ka pa rin sa kapwa at sa bayan. Social responsibility explained. So, ang social responsibility is varies depending on the person's role or professions. So, depende siya sa depende siya sa trabaho mo or sa posisyon ng isang tao sa komunidad o sa negosyo. Halimbawa, sa bankers, lending money to both rich and poor producers. Sa manufacturers naman, producing quality goods without harming the environment, while ang wealthy naman sharing increased wealth with the less fortunate. So, ayon kay Professor Howard Bowen, he defines social responsibility as a business action aligned with society values and objectives. So, ang social responsibility daw para sa kanya ay gawain ng mga negosyante na tumutugma sa mga values at layunin ng lipunan. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang basta ang negosyante ay dapat na kumita, kundi kailangan nila din isang alam kung paano nakapekto ang kanilang operasyon sa tao. Historical development of social responsibility. In the ancient times, Greeks and Romans looked down on the trade. Only slaves and lower-class citizens engaged in the business. Preferred professions soldiers and farmers. So, mas iginagalang nila dati ang mga guro, ang mga sundalo at mga magsasaka kaysa sa mga negosyante. Business practice guided by personal ethics, religious beliefs, and existing laws. Scriptures prohibited dishonest practices like false weights and usury. The code of Hammurabi-related fair labor wages is examples of grain or year of the field laborer. So, ito ang pinakamatandang batas na nagtakda ng sahod ng mga manggagawa na nagpapakita ng maagang konsepto ng social responsibility. Ang medieval times naman, kay business activities influenced by Christian doctrines, the church was the dominant authority in social and economic life. Compensatory justice by St. Thomas Aquinas emphasized this wages for workers, advocated fair pricing of goods and services. While ang industrial naman is ang inspired reformers and philosophers like Robert Owen and Karl Marx. Dahil sa pang-aabuso, lumitaw ang mga nagpapanukala ng reforma sa lipunan at ekonomiya. Si Owen ay nagsulong ng maayos na kondisyon sa paggawa, abang si Marx naman ay naglabas ng matinding kritisismo sa kapitalismo. Theory of Karl Marx. Karl Marx was a German philosopher who emphasized the importance of labor in society. So ayon kay Karl Marx, ang mga manggagawa ang tunay na gumagawa ng lahat ng produkto sa lipunan. Sila ang foundation ng lahat ng yaman. He believed that workers are the real producers of goods, but capitalists enjoy the benefits. So, naniniwala siya na ang mga manggagawa ang nagpupuyat, nagpapagod at gumagawa ng produkto, pero ang kita ay napupunta sa mga negosyante. Marx developed the theory of scientific social evolution, which explains how society changed from equality to inequality due to technological and ideological process. As a new tools and system were introduced, greed for power and wealth increased, disrupting the old system. This led to the class struggle within the capitalists. So, Marx predicted the collapse of capitalism due to its internal faults and expectations of workers. Despite these, Marx's ideas positively influenced work fair, leading to the rise of the labor unions of working protection. Dahil sa idea ni Marx, ang nag-organisa ang mga manggagawa para ipaglaban ang tamang sahod, benepisyo at kaligtasan sa trabaho. Russian professor Vostok supported the Marx views, stating that under capitalism, wealth belongs to those who own production tools, not those who work. Ang yumayaman ay yung may-ari ng lupa, makina at negosyo kahit wala silang ginagawa sa production. Workers are forced to sell their labor cheaply due to poverty and employment and crisis. Capitalists earn profits through exploitations, not through their own labor. So sinasabi ni Vostok na ang kita ng mayaman ay galing sa trabaho ng mahirap, hindi sa sarili nilang effort. Yan lang po yung aking report. Thank you.
Good day, ma'am. I am Nikki Joy P. Tayongtong. So next is Robert Owen, the social utopian. Robert Owen was a Welsh social reformer who believed that people's lives could improve through better working and living conditions. He managed a factory working in New Lanark, Scotland, where he treated workers fairly, reduced work hours, improved housing, and focused on education for children. He supported cooperatives, business owned and shared by workers, and believed that creating fair communities and equal rights. Owen preached the ideas of socialism for over 40 years, inspiring change in how society views labor, education, and equality. Because of his lifelong dedication, he honored by later generation as father of socialism and cooperative movements. So, according to him, businesses should care about people, not just in profit. He ran a successful factory while treating workers fairly and improving their living conditions and investing also in education. So, as a future entrepreneur, we can learn from him that ethical business practices can still lead to can still lead to success and even inspire change in society. So next is the influence of labor unions. Before the 1930s, minimal government oversight created exploitative working conditions, excessive work hours, no minimum wage, and absent benefits. Unsafe workplaces and numerous accidents prompted workers to form labor unions demanding better conditions and job security. However, governments often favored employees, and unions were frequently labeled as communist, a perception persisting even in many developing countries. So labor unions is formed because many business owners cared only about the profit, not on workers' well-being. This teaches future entrepreneurs an important lesson that if you treat your workers poorly, it can lead to protest, low morale, and even harm your brand. A good entrepreneur listens to their team and creates a workplace where people feel safe, respected, and valued. Now let's move on to the theories on social responsibilities. First is the economic model. This model focuses on the traditional view of business, that its main role is to earn profit, provide jobs, and offer quality goods and services, and also to pay taxes. It believes that as long as a business operates legally and efficiently, society will benefit. So this model says that the main job of a business is to earn money, give jobs, and pay taxes. As long as a company follows the law and runs properly, it's already helping the society. It doesn't expect businesses to do extra stuffs like community programs. So next is the socio-economic model. This model believes that businesses are not just responsible to owners or shareholders, but also to employees, customers, suppliers, and the whole community. It emphasizes that business should consider the social effects of their decisions and give back to society. So this one says that businesses should not just care about money, they should also care about people. This includes the workers, customers, and the whole community. It believes that companies should give back and think about their decisions that can affect to others. Lastly is the classical model. This model, supported by economist Milton Friedman, states that business is socially responsible only if it focuses on making profit while following the law and ethical practices. It believes that doing more than this, just like giving to charities, is not the business jobs. So, the classical model, backed by Milton Friedman, says that the only responsibility of a business is to make profit as long as it is legal and ethical. Things like charities, social projects aren't the company's job. Instead, that it should be up to individuals, not the business.
Arguments for social responsibility and arguments against social responsibility. Arguments for social responsibility. Business is part of society and should not ignore social problems. Business has financial, technical, and managerial resources to solve social issues. Supporting society can help business earn more profit in the long run, and social responsibility can reduce the need for government regulations. Ang mga negosyo ay may pananagutan sa lipunan dahil bahagi sila nito. May kakayahan silang gamitin ang kanilang pinansyal at technical na resources para lutasin ang mga isyong panlipunan. Halimbawa dito, kapag ang isang kumpanya ng pangapagkain ay pwede silang mag-donate ng pagkain sa mga mahihirap, o ang isang kumpanya ng teknolohiya ay pwedeng mag-develop ng ibang teknolohiya para ma-improve ang kalidad sa edukasyon. Ang pagiging socially responsible ay nakakatulong din sa papaganda ng imahe ng company at pag-akit ng maraming customers. The arguments against social responsibilities are: managers are responsible to shareholder, so profit should be their main focus. Business resources like time, money, and talent should be used to earn profits, and solving social problems is the duty of the government and voters, not businesses. Ang pangunahing layunin ng isang negosyo ay kumita ng pera para sa mga shareholder nito. Ang paggastos ng pera sa mga social responsibility initiatives ay maaring makakaapekto sa kita ng isang company. Halimbawa, ang pag-donate ng malaking halaga ng pera sa charity ay maaring makasira sa kita ng isang kumpanya. Ang pagtugon sa mga isyong panlipunan ay responsibilidad ng gobyerno, hindi ng mga private company. Ang mga negosyo ay dapat mag-focus sa kanilang core business na ang paggawa at pagbenta ng mga produkto or serbisyo. Social responsibility to consumers. Kung ang tao ay may karapatan, ang mga consumers ay may karapatan din. Consumers are not strong in protecting their rights against capitalist exploitations. Although there are no several organizations of consumers, their power is hardly felt. Si President John Kennedy ay nag-introduce ng the 4 basic rights of the consumer, which is the right to safety, to be informed, to choose, and to be heard. The right to be safety. It means products are safe for their intended use, clear and complete instruction for their proper use, and have been tested by the manufacturer for quality and reliability. The right to be informed. This refers for the availability of complete and correct information about how to use these products. The right to choose is the policy of the government to encourage competition among sellers and producers so that consumer can choose the best products in the market. The right to be heard is based on the concept that the customer is always right. Seller should listen to their buyers and act immediately on their compliance. Good business enterprise have their customer relation department. The job of this office is to please their customers. Social responsibility to the community. The price of economic growth is destruction of the environment through pollution of the air, land, and water. Such pollution had adversely affected the lives of both human and animal lives, as well as those of the plant kingdom. Other social responsibilities are employment, education training, and community development. Employment is the business enterprises should adopt the policy of equal opportunity employment. Dapat magpatupad ang mga negosyo ng patakaran na pantay na oportunidad sa pagtatrabaho o ito yung tinatawag na equal opportunity employment. Halimbawa, ang isang kumpanya ay dapat tumatanggap ng mga aplikante mula sa lahat ng sektor ng lipunan, hindi lang sa particular na grupo. Hindi dapat magkaroon ng diskriminasyon base sa edad, kasarian, relihiyon, o kapansanan. Education training. Business organization, particularly the big and the successful one, should contribute their resources to the education and training of the poor and disabled person in the community. Dapat tumulong ang mga negosyo, lalo na yung mga malalaking company, sa edukasyon at pagsasanay ng mga mahihirap at may kapansanan sa komunidad. Halimbawa, maaaring mabigay ang isang kumpanya ng scholarship sa mga mag-aaral o mag-alok ng mga libreng kurso sa vocational training para sa mga walang trabaho. Lastly, the community development. The business organization is very much a part of a community. Thus, it is social responsibility to help to the development of the community so that it will be a better place to live in. Bahagi ng panipunang responsibilidad ng mga negosyo ang pagtulong sa pag-unlad ng komunidad para maging magandang lugar ng tirahan. Halimbawa, ang isang kumpanya ay maaaring magtayo ng isang paaralan, ospital o parking sa komunidad kung saan sila nag-ooperate. Maaari rin silang mag-sponsor ng mga proyekto sa paglilinis ng kapaligiran o pagtulong sa mga biktima ng kalamidad.
So, good afternoon everyone. I am Benji S. Salem. So, ethics is the study of the right and the wrong and its moral choice by an individual in the business. And then next, business ethics involves relationship with employees, investor, customer, creditors, and competitors. There are many businessmen who are not fair and honest in dealing with said groups. So, sa business, good afternoon everyone. I am Benji S. Salem and I am going to report the ethics. So ethics is the study of right and wrong and it's a moral choice by an individual in the business. So business ethics involves in relationship with employees, investor, customer, creditors, and competitors. There are many businessmen who are not fair and honest in dealing with the said growth. So sa business ethics kay mo ni siya mga relationship ang maayong pag halubilo sa imong customer sa imong investor para good ang imong business. So the preamble of the code of ethics states that the man has a dignity that must be respected and that all resources of the earth have been created for this growth and development. So, ingon si Peter Drucker, an international famous management consultant, said, the first responsibility to society is to operate at a profit. Business is the wealth-creating and wealth-producing organ of the society. But most important is the management realizes that it must consider the impact of business policy and the business action upon society. So, a code of ethics for business. So, sa Philippines, business over the years has increasingly felt the need for a code of ethics to guide in its conduct in its business. This is need has been expressed often by its leaders during convention and forums where discussion are centered around problems and issues affecting business and industry. So sa Philippines kay dapat ginasunod itong code of ethics para ang ma-address ang mga problems o para dili maanuhan ang ato ang maapektuhan ang atong business. So respectable businessman recognize a profit, a legitimate stimulus, and a preamble for growth. More and more have common to realize that profit is not an end itself. They see business as a service, as vehicle for social change, and as means for true fulfillment of human development in the proper use of available resources. So, magbakta diri sa respectable businessman kay ang ginaano dara kay dili lang pag maka-profit na maka-income ta, dili lang na siya mo ang end sa atong business. Kinaano nato siya in order para ginapas lambo pa nato ang ato ang business itself para sa fulfillment sa ato ang human development sa ato ang mga needs. And then sa the Bishop Business Conference for the Human Development in its 1977 General Assembly called for the formulation of a code of ethics for the Philippines business that would guide the committed businessmen in the management of their businesses. In structuring the code, the committee focused attention on the 6 critical areas of business. Our responsibility include ang employees, customer, supplier, shareholder, and other provincial capital, local and national government, and in society in general. A section was developed in dealing with the principle of professional manager. So, in participating the representative of the numerous business enterprise in a formal sector of the economy, the Code of Ethics was finally adopted by the Businessman Conference. So, preamble. Unsa ang preamble? The Code of Ethics has been formulated impelled by belief that has a dignity that must be respected and that all resources of the earth had been created for its growth and development. So, ang sa preamble para sa growth and development sa ato ang business. And then this code is considered for a major step in going and changing process of understanding the growing role of business activity in developing of man. The code seeks to express systemically and coherently the principle of business practices as accepted, professed by Philippines business as its best and seeks to apply this to current and changing needs. So sa kini nga code kay ginaano na ang para man change ang ato ang current situation o nya maano pud ang ato ang needs sa ato ang pangangailangan araw-araw. So, it's a general code intended to be influential rather than a coercive. It's hope that individual entities will consciously adapt to embrace it as a statement of principle, and having done will be unwilling to the code. Finally, it is a code for all people formulate on the premise that the modern manager must be strategized for human development, and that for the rationale of business is to build an enterprise oriented in the development of the man. So ang kini nga code kay para gina-establish ni siya para atong business is mas mag-growth pa, mas molambo pa, og para pod sa tanan nga maka-benepisyo. And that's all. Thank you.
Good day, Mom. Good day, classmate. My name is Antoinette Saavedra, and I will be going to report the concepts of the business. So, business, which embraces commerce and industry, is not an accidental human activity, but an integral element of the social order. Its primary purpose is to meet society's human needs by providing goods and services as efficiently as possible. Those engaged in business should therefore recognize the following basic concepts. So, first concept is all business is an expression of human relationship with workers, owners, suppliers, government, customers, and societies, and must balance their interests with justice and mutual concerns. So, ang business is dili lang about tanan sa kwarta or sa income or sa profit tanan katuyo. Business is also about creating a good relationship towards different people that involved in your business. Like sa imong employees, sa imong customers, suppliers, and also sa government. Because if wala kay good relationship or wala ka nag-build of good relationship na involved sa imong business, especially sa imong customers, is the business or your business will not work or na possibility na manghinay ang imong business, or it can lead na dili jud mag-success ang imong business or dili mag-success ang isa ka business if wala kay good relationship or wala ka nag-build of good relationship ani na mga tao or mga tao na involved sa imong business. Halimbawa, naa kay customers or naa kay customer, tas ikaw ang naga-entertain sa ila. Yang imong the way pag-entertain is inistrikta or like minaldita. So, kato na customer is mag-come up na sila na dili na sila mobalik sa imong business. Kaya syempre, gimalditahan mo sila or gi-inistriktahan. So, kinsa pa may ganahan mo balik sa imong business is if ang imong pagkuan sa ila is like minaldita or inistrikta. So, na possibility na wala na kay maging customers or wala na mobalik na customers sa imong business. So, the next concept is the owners, management, workforce, suppliers, subcontractors, customers, and government all contribute to business performance and deserve fair recognition for their contribution. So, in business is dili lang daw dapat ang owners or ang kaiya sa business ang maka-benefit, but also include ang employees sa imong business or include ang employees sa isa ka business ang maka-benefit. Because sa business, all people starting from owners, managers, hantod sa mga staffs and employees is na ay contributions to the business for it to succeed. So, they deserve fair recognition for their contribution or like ma-recognize lang gani sila sa ilahang na-contribute sa imong business or like natabang nila sa imong business na mag-succeed or maganahan sila mupadayon sa imuha mo trabaho sa imong business. Next is the resources of a business like financial, technological, and human must be used with respect for human dignity, offering individuals opportunities for development and proper reward. So, the resources daw like financial or mga tao na involved sa imong business is dapat gamiton nimo in a right way and with respect. The business owner should show concern sa ilang mga employees or sa mga staffs nila. Dili lang dapat ilang sarili ang ilang ginahuna or dili lang ilang ginahuna is kwarta ra permi. Dapat hatagan nila concern ang ilang mga employer. Dapat pakitaan nila ang ilang employee na naa sila concern towards sila ha. So use your resources in a right way so you have services and products that your customer will satisfy. Kaya if wala ka nagapakita o concern or paki sa imong mga employee is dili nila tarungon ang ilang trabaho or wala kay ma-offer sa imong customers na product and services kay ang imong mga employee is wala sila katarong sa ilang trabaho. Next is a business enterprise has a public responsibility to use resources efficiently, recognizing profit as a necessary incentive for growth, better quality of life, and meeting broader social needs. A business have a social responsibility have social responsibility.
Hello ma'am, hello classmate. My report is all about towards the supplies, towards the owner and other providers of capital, towards society in general, and ethical principles for the professional manager. So first, towards the supplies. Upholding the integrity of all contracts, clear terms, mutual agreement for changes. This principle stresses the importance of having well-defined contracts with suppliers. This includes clear terms and conditions to avoid misunderstandings. It highlights the need for mutual agreement when any changes to the contract are necessary. Ensuring fair dealings. Avoiding the abuse of economic influence. These points addresses the power dynamics that can exist between an organized and its suppliers. It emphasizes the ethical responsibility to avoid exploiting any economic leverage the organization might have. Fair dealings ensure the suppliers are treated justly and not taken advantage of. Promoting timely and just compensation for goods and services. These principles focuses on the financial aspects of the relationship. It underscores the importance of paying suppliers on time, providing compensation that is fair and reflects the value of the goods or services provided. This builds trust and ensures the supplier's sustainability. Fostering trust through reliable long-term partnership. This final point emphasizes the strategic benefit of building lasting relationships with suppliers. Reliability, consistency, and open communication contribute to a foundation of trust. Long-term partnership can lead to mutual growth, innovation, and more resilient supply chain.
Towards the owners and other providers of capital. Delivering a competitive and secure return on their invested capital. These principles highlight the fundamental expectation of investors to receive a return on their investment that is both competitive within the market and relatively secure. This implies sound financial management and strategy that aim for profitability and sustainability. Managing financial resources with responsibility and efficiency. These points emphasize the importance of stewardship over the capital provided. It means using funds wisely,
avoiding waste, and making prudent financial decisions to maximize returns and save the invested capital. Maintaining transparency through the provision of relevant information. These principles underscores the need for open and honest communication with investors and capital providers. Providing timely and relevant information about the organization, performance, financial health, and strategic direction builds trust and allows them to make informed decisions. Aligning business objectives with the legitimate goals of capital providers. These final points stresses the importance of understanding and considering the objectives of those who provide capital. This could include financial returns but also potentially involve ethical consideration or long-term growth. Aligning the organization goals with this legitimate expectation fosters a strong and mutually beneficial relationship toward society in general. Recognizing our significant utilization of national resources and addressing societal needs in our strategic decision. This organization aims to operate in a way that is both conscious and its environmental footprint through resource utilization and responsive to the well-being and requirements of society as a whole when formulating its strategies. It is highlights a commitment to social responsibility and sustainable practices. Ethical principles for the professional manager. It presents a set of guidelines intended to inform the behavior and decision making of individuals and managements. Acting with integrity, upholding the law and personal conscience. This emphasizes the importance of honesty, strong moral principles, and adherence to legal regulations. Managers should act in a way that aligns with both external law and their own internal sense of right and wrong. Serving both the business enterprise and the community, these principles highlights a dual responsibility. Managers should work towards the success of the organization while also considering the well-being and interest of the broader community in which it operates. Avoiding any misuse of executive authority for personal gain. This directly addresses potential conflicts of interest and the ethical use of power. Managers should not leverage their position or authority to benefit themselves personally at the expense of the organization or others. Ensuring transparency by disclosing potential conflicts of interest. Openness and honesty are crucial. Managers have a responsibility to reveal any situation where their personal interest might clash with the interests of the organization or its stakeholders. Supporting employee engagement and community service. These principles encourage managers to foster a culture where employees are supported in contributing to the community, recognizing the positive impact of such involvement. Carefully evaluating the human and social impact of technology advancements. As a technology evolves, manager must consider the broader consequence on people and society, making ethical choices regarding its implementation and use. Striving to benefit society and respect local communities. This reiterates the commitment to having a positive impact beyond the organization itself, specifically mentioning the importance of respecting the values and needs of local communities. Prioritizing the company's best interest while remaining impartial. These principles requires a delicate balance. Managers should be dedicated to the success of the community but must also make fair and unbiased decision, avoiding favoritism and prejudice. Maintaining open communication with subordinates. Effective and transparent communication with team members is essential for building trust and fostering a positive work environment. These principles acknowledge that the level of openness may vary depending on their situation. Rejecting unethical data, accusation, and undue influence. These principles emphasize the importance of obtaining information and making decisions through ethical means, avoiding manipulation, coercion, or the use of improperly acquired data. Fostering collaboration and avoiding the explosion of colleagues. Managers should promote teamwork and mutual respect, ensuring the colleagues are treated fairly and not taken advantage of. Truly assessing the future impact of business plans on stakeholders. These principles encourage a long-term perspectives, urging managers to consider how their decisions and strategies will affect all relevant stakeholders, employees, customers, investors, community, etc. in this future.